something else that's out there and everybody is talking about, and they can't stop talking about, and they won't stop talking about, they've been talking about since the 90s, is the Menendez brothers. And so now we got to talk about this series because Ryan Murphy put this out there. So can we talk? Woo! Can we talk the Menendez brothers? All right, so I need to talk about the Menendez brothers right now because this project came out, the new season of Monsters, everybody. And if you've seen this, you've heard about it, you know about it, it's out there, it's on all the wavelengths, everybody's talking about this. And it's a big, big deal because back in the 90s, when this actually happened, it was just up there with O.J. Simpson. It was right there too. This happened first, then O.J. came out, everybody was talking about both of them. One of the biggest murder mysteries that was thrown out in front of our faces ever came to the whole world, and that is the drama behind the Menendez brothers. It's so much so that Mr. Mike Casey joining us too, but I'm going to go into the story first. So Lyle and Eric Menendez, all right? This is what it comes down to. Cooper Koch played Eric, and Alexander Chavez, Nicholas Alexander Chavez played Lyle. Now, there's the biggest thing people are talking about right now is the incest angle. Now, there was always a very close relationship with both brothers. There was a very close relationship. But I think what Ryan Murphy did is he kind of pushed that even bigger. And everyone's kind of back from it. There's a lot of families coming forward now saying that's inaccurate. It's a caricature of what they were like. They're calling it rooted in horrible and blatant lies. Eric is actually married. He's in prison, of course, because of this. We'll get to that. But he's in prison, and his wife came forward, Tammy Menendez, wrote a letter along with most of the family, their aunt, Joan Vandermolen, and also the 24 extended family members. They came forward with this letter and calling the whole project repulsive. But 35 years ago, let's go back. 35 years ago, back in 1989, Jose and Mary Louise Kitty Menendez were murdered. Now, what happened with this, too, was the brothers, they did it. They confessed to it. But at the time, they were at home. And in the series itself, they showed them going to the movie theater to go see Batman. They're trying to go to a bar and all this stuff. That didn't happen. They stayed at the house the whole time. They stayed at the house. And they called 911 themselves. They expected that the neighbors would be like, it's Beverly Hills. They're all going to send the cops over right now, but the cops didn't come. And so they called the cops themselves, and the cops came. This is 1989. And when they came, they didn't check the brothers. The brothers were crying, saying the mafia killed them. The mafia killed them. I'm like, what is that? If you're innocent, I'm going to say if you're innocent, why would you say that first off? But that's what they said. Mafia did. Flash forward to 1993, that's where their trial actually happened. So 89 to 90, they were just out there roundabouts. The police department couldn't find anything. By 90, they officially arrested them because Eric could not actually handle it anymore. And he told his therapist what happened. He brought Lyle into the whole thing, and then tapes leaked of their whole thing because their therapist's girlfriend or side girl leaks it all to the cops. And that's what happened. And so then the actual evidence is out there, and they confess to the whole thing. And then they go to trial. And at trial, they say it was about their father sexually harassing them. And again, beyond that, not being a good father.
Molesting, yeah.
Yep, molesting, not being a good father. And I watch a series, and I will say this. It feels like to me, like they were at a point where they maybe their defendant, maybe their actual lawyers were saying they should just. I'm not sure, but I think that what came from this seems like. I mean, I know the whole series itself is trying to shed a light on molestation with families and how these people go through hard times, but I think there is some shit that happened here that's not real. I think honestly. But 93, they went on trial and they were actually put to first-degree murder. They were actually charged first-degree murder, committed at 18 and 21 years old, and then they were put away. But now there's actually new news that came forward after all of this that there's a boy band that was at that time going big at that time. I never heard them before, but I know that like Ricky Martin was part of it.
Menudo.
Menudo. Yeah. And Roy Rossello came forward. He was a member of that. And he said that their father actually molested him at that time. And he And Eric was talking about this, said that he saw him come to the house and all the boy band people. He was very involved with the boy band scene. And again, their father was a influential person in the music industry, and he saw them come to the house. And at that time, apparently, Menudo member Roy came forward and said he was molested. So maybe there is something that's happened. There's a letter. Then Eric sent a letter to his cousin before that saying he was molested, but molested. But the thing is too, like Kim Kardashian went there, Cooper went there to go meet him, and they gave him a hug. He was so excited about to meet him. And Cooper says he believes that he's innocent, and they want to get him free. There's a whole movement online right now to get them free. Big movement. And it's a big like dramatization of their life story that's never really been told before in this fashion. But I will say this with my case here, everybody. I will say this. To me, at times, you confess it feels like it should have came out first. Now I don't know. Again, I'm not a person that's been molested by my parents. Never been there. So I don't know how hard that is to actually say it. And again, the brothers said before that maybe it took a lot for them to say this and they couldn't say it before, and it finally came out, and that's what it is. And they do regret what they did. But it's very troublesome because online there's a big movement right now saying like, release them. I still don't believe it, guys. I don't believe it. I feel like it came after the fact. I feel like it was a thing. Their actual lawyer did the case before where she helped somebody else get off from this same kind of deal, and she used a molestation thing. I'm like, is that what they did then? Never said it before. You lie. They spent $700,000 on Rolexes and cocaine and drugs and real estate in between their parents were dead. I get it being like, okay, I says, I'm upset because my parents are dead and I don't know what the fuck to do. I get that. But to me, it also feels like maybe you hated your parents because they were fucking tough on you and you snapped. To me, that's what it feels like. And now they're in jail for the rest of their lives. And they're trying to get out now. And maybe they learned from that, GR. Maybe they learned from that. But I still don't know if I buy the narrative that they didn't do it based off of the fact that they want to do it. It was like, it seems to me like they want to do it and they did it. And now they're trying to use the molestation thing to get out of it now. It still feels like that to me. I don't, Ron's looking at me. I'm going to go to Ron first. Ron, what do you think? Do you think that was a big thing that is hard to say, so you don't say it? Or do you think that there might be still, because they lied before, Ron, they lied a lot. And that's what I go down to. When you lie, it's hard for me to believe you. It just is. And right. the prosecution brought a lot of things forward in that second case with the pool guy, the guy at the boat that was saying like they were yelling at them, the car dealership guy, they were yelling at their parents. Were they spoiled kids? Or were they just like not able to deal with their emotions and say it out loud until they were on trial? What do you think about this whole documentary or this whole dramatization of this? And is it something that will help them, Ron, maybe get out?
I mean, I lived through this real time, so I was like hooked to it and listening to it. The implications about the sexual abuse and stuff have always been there. That's nothing new. That came out rather quickly. Did it come out as a defense right away? I don't know, but it was there. And they were spoiled brats, absolutely. I'm not condoning what they did at all, but I don't think that they had a childhood. I think that they were really robbed of it. And I think enough was enough, and they snapped.
Yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents too, in a way.
But Ron, do you think that like what happened here, that like this whole documentary, or I guess a dramatization of this, do you think this will actually help prove that point though? Because again, what they were saying at that time was like no one understood that because it was the 90s. No one didn't understand that thing. No one understood. They were also like they're men. They shouldn't, men don't get abused. There's a whole thing that was happening, right?
Yeah.
They should have stood up for themselves. They're men. But right. Sometimes it's your parents, right? And so if it's true, do you think that this is the time that can get their case actually proven, if that's true, in the court of justice?
I mean, that's an interesting point, and definitely that subject is more touched on these days. There might be a little more understanding and not just brushing it off of your men, that is a possibility for them, actually.
So when because you were again, you're saying that you're involved that time. You saw it all playing on TV. And it was a big deal. So you believe them back then that you thought that based off their testimony and all that there was, because there were also tapes that came out where they were saying like, we did it, no problem. They didn't seem like they really were pushing it. I listened to some of the tapes too, and that's where I was like, oh, it doesn't seem like they're really that upset about it. But is that something that you push it back, Ron, and you hold back because it's so hard? Because again, I know Lyle was saying that like I can't like change my dad's idea of like who he was as a person. If I say this, it's going to mess the whole family up.
I can totally believe that. I can totally see that. I got to tell you one thing. In watching the news footage and stuff and seeing footage of the dad, I got a really creepy, cringy feeling about him. I thought he was.
I think he was an asshole. 100%.
Sinister man, and I just got this creepy thing that he would just do anything, and it was a weird vibe for me. And I think maybe that's when I instantly then sort of sided with the boys.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, Ron. And a lot of people have been. Have you seen that movement online about it too, Ron? That a lot of people are talking about it. Yep. Release the Menendez brothers. Like release them now. And it's a different time. And I get that. And that's right. I do sympathize because in the 90s, it's hard. Like, I mean, I grew up in 84. So I was born there. I was a kid. I was a super kid when I was in the 90s. So I didn't really understand, like, if that was happening to me, I don't know what I would do. I have no idea what I would do.
Right.
It's just hard because some of the stuff that it contradicted itself. When you lie, that's what, again, you murdered your parents. It's hard to actually say that. When you lie, isn't it hard for people to, like, take you like for the facts? So it's hard to get the facts actually for if you're lying that much.
But I mean, how much of those lies, how much were they being coached to lie about things to get less or this? I mean, they were kids,
18. That's crazy.
Adults.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, they were adults.
They were, adults because they were 18. Were they
18 and 21?
Yeah.
And that have hypothetically been being abused for years?
No.
I don't think that's not that
but
at all.
if you're being abused at the age of 5, 6 years old, that's like when you're developing your internal, like your moral compass is developed by the age of, 5 now? 6, psychologists say. Mm-hmm. So like think about that. Your moral compass is developed. I know that sounds maybe strange for some people, but that's true, like based on research. So think of these children, right? Like I totally believe the dad was molesting those boys 100%. Like I don't have a shadow of a doubt. That's what's been, I saw those trials going on. I was young obviously at that time, but like my mom, I mean, it was always on, so I could hear, I could understand. I mean, those, I wasn't like, I was in like grade school or something at that time, or actually middle school maybe, or somewhere. I was in that realm, but nonetheless it was like the story, and just hearing it now, I mean, it's always been the same thing. There was, I mean, if you're a defense attorney, you're going to find ways to get your clients out of things, right? Like
always.
What is the excuse? Is abuse, right? So play the abuse card.
That's they said too.
Right. And I mean, that's like, but I mean, people act in different and mysterious and strange ways when they're disassociated from something. So like when you're molested and done, you don't want to remember shit like that.
But what about the letters, Angela? The letters. He sent his cousin letters, and he was like, just lie about X, Y, and Z, and say this happened to you. And that when Lyle did that, then you put Lyle on the stand. That I see stuff like that, and I'm like, why are you telling your cousins to lie about molestation? You know what I mean? Like when you saw this, like why would you do that?
So the point for that, I think, could be that because if they didn't really tell if they kept it, because there's a pride thing. It's an embarrassing situation.
Shame dictates behavior so much.
It does. And I've been around, like people, sexual assault victims, and like your behavior is not, I mean, like think about the Me Too stuff. Like when all that popped up, like how many years, decades later? I mean,
right. And then also think about all the money. Think about all the money that these kids are
all the money, all the stuff. I mean,
14 million.
Yeah. I don't think those brothers wanted anyone to know this stuff. I think they were like, listen, this shit's going to go, like, we're Beverly, we come from this family, our dad's the CEO, whatever, this large, music entertainment business. I mean, they didn't not think that was going to be the case. I'm pretty sure you have to have some kind of dark trauma. I can't believe it was because of like, we're going to be written out of the will. Let's get rid of these people.
No, I don't believe that.
Not. It has to be something darker and more ominous for that to happen. And I believe it was sexual trauma assault. They became disassociated at some point in their lives, which happens. It's very common for sexual assault victims. And yeah, like you will go out to people and you will become like kind of maybe a sociopathic behavior and reach out to someone and say, hey, can you guys help us out here or whatever? Because you didn't talk about it with anyone because you were freaking embarrassed as well about what happened. And maybe you were little assholes to your parents, but I'm certain the dad cracked.
Oh, the dad smacked them 100%. Dad was hitting them all the time. I guarantee that shit.
I guarantee out of them. Are you kidding me?
I guarantee it.
I don't even need to like know based on like I mean, the way they portray them. I mean, I don't know the guy obviously, but I just have a strong inclination the way people speak about him.
Right.
He wasn't spoken about well by a lot of people. Not at all.
But this interpretation of it really shine light on the idea of like trying to make him being a charismatic guy. They got Javier Bardem to play him. Come on. Javier Bardem. Fucking classy, sophisticated, great actor. You know, great actor. Well, did you say great ass, Mike?
I said the best, Brian.
I was going to say great ass. Sorry.
Great ass.
I'm going to ask you this question. So, being that, look, all of us are talking about this right now, do you see how all of us we can't without reasonable doubt, like none of us can right now in this, like if we were jurors in this situation, we can't even like
hung jury.
We're already, like we're basically, so Ron and I are on almost the same, like I'm sorry, but I most likely would not be able to, I wouldn't be able to. If I was on that jury I would be like, no, like the first trial is, like Lyle effed up hardcore. But I mean, at the same time, I don't know if that's like, maybe he was trying to cover because of the embarrassment. I mean, there's a lot of things that sexual trauma will do to you. And it makes you know, so I don't know. I don't know what that whole thing was, but I think shit, if O.J. Simpson got out for Christ's sakes, and that guy was guiltier than shit. Like
he was guilty as shit. Yeah, we all agree upon that. If you're gonna fucking take your fucking
the Menendez brothers and O.J. Simpson all day long times 10. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he just ran though. He's ran on his point. How do you get in the 405 that far? I have no idea to this day.
These guys lied and did stuff, sure, but I mean, I think Leslie Abrams did a great job defending them. To be honest, and I mean, the fact that they said like at the end that she was the reason. I'm sorry, but if that was the reason, a jury, like I would be like, it wasn't her. It doesn't matter if it was about.
It was her. It wasn't her.
Yeah, if they didn't like her, that's stupid.
It's the time. It's the fucking time, Angela.
Murder is murder.
Get in there, GR. Get in there, GR. How you feel about this?
You do the crime, you do the time. Those bastards are going to be in jail for the rest of their life. Even our bleeding heart liberal governor isn't going to kick him out because he wants to be president in 4 more years. And guess what? He ain't going to let him out because that would cost him the election.
So, GR, you've seen all this, GR. You've seen all this. I know you're coming in a very strong opinion. Let's give GR a moment. So, GR, you're coming in very hot about this. I know, I understand. But do you feel like there could be something in there where they were in a bad environment, a horrible environment, and they lost their fucking mind? And it's not, it doesn't have to even be about, a crime of passion. It could just be like they were fucking in a bad environment. They had no idea how to get out. Or do you think that they just lied and they wanted the money? Because people are saying they lied and wanted the money. Is that what you think, JR?
No, I agree with Angela and Ron that they may have been abused. I can't say they were because it's the people that are accused are dead.
Yeah, so 100%.
But they were, as I said earlier, they were adults, 18 and 21. If your parents have been abusing you, go to the fucking cops. They get arrested and they get tried. You don't blow them away and say, "Oh, I did it because I was abused." Sorry.
Yeah, I get that too. I do.
You kill somebody, you go to fucking jail and rot.
Hey, don't punch your kids if you don't want them to shoot you too. I mean, that's also a prerogative, right?
Also, this is Beverly Hills. They're omnipotent. Those kids. I grew up with these kids. It's just,
I know.
They know what, they know a judge. It's just that type of stuff doesn't affect them. It's just like, no, we're going to do this. Let's do it. It gets in their mind and they go.
Yeah. They just make it happen.
That is an SOS symptom, Ron. You know SOS? Stuck on stupid.
Stuck on stupid. I didn't know that.
We have one person. Let's go. We got Jordan and Mike. So we'll go Jordan next. Jordan. So Jordan, you heard about this before. What do you think, Jordan? Do you think that you watched this? I would still say, and
I was 9 years. I still remember this. My mom had it on court TV every fucking day.
I know, but I would still say I worked for Ryan Murphy for years, Jordan. I just think that what he did with this sometimes was like we're trying to like the
I think it was over sexualized.
Yes, that's what I say. I hate the sexualization. I think that's what Ryan Murphy does. I love Ryan Murphy's narratives, but I think he always does over sexualize it. And he's on Netflix, and with being on Netflix, he's going to go a step further, right?
I really don't know if there was an incident with Lyle and the Lyle and Eric.
That one seems like a stretch, yeah.
That seemed like a stretch.
Well, if they're rooming with Bubba, maybe not.
That's a fantasy.
But Jordan, do you believe this? You believe this, Jordan?
You do the time.
You watched it, Jordan, though. But hold on. Jordan, you watched this before, so you watched it. You saw it playing out as a kid as well. Do you believe that the Menendez brothers, after all this, will this PR lead to a situation where they might get another retrial?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I really
don't think so.
I don't. I think their goodwill back in the day was they didn't get the death penalty. They had two things on the table, and they said, okay, they were abused, so we're going to put them in for life, but they still did the crime.
Yeah. In America,
they were up for the death penalty. They didn't get the death penalty. That was their...
But Jordan, the social, you don't think that social media and the world we live in will have some kind of backlash to make them have another opportunity for an appeal they never thought they'd have?
I don't think so. I mean, for one, we don't know the whole story. I mean, yeah, these kids were deaf. Something was going on. But,
yes, I mean...
But you also got to look at Lyle's girlfriend's family all believed in him, all believed the kids, anything they said. Oh my God.
Good point.
I mean, you don't know.
Do you think that that's like a whole thing? I think the family knew what he was like? Because, like, I mean, I guess my biggest...
still support them. 35 years later, the family are still on their side. Where if they thought they were guilty and they think they're going to be in jail forever, like it would be very easy for them if they thought it was bullshit to have come out and said something. They could probably get a paycheck by doing that.
All right, Mike's getting in there. So Mike, I still have a hard time believing them. Maybe it's like the lies and lies and lies. And I've been in situations where relationships, people lie the fuck out of me. They fucking lie to me, and they lie to me, and they fucking lie to me. And so I don't believe anything. You know what I mean? And so when I see lies, I fucking
this is
don't
what happened to the
shit,
jury too. That's exactly what happened to the jury. They say you're lying. Maybe you're lying about everything else.
And that's how I'm as an individual, and that's me as a person, because I've been lied to a lot in my life. And when I get lies, I get fucking pissed. I don't believe you. So do you think, though, I honestly believe, Mike, that if this happened to them, I feel fucking horrible. I feel fucking horrible. And this new band member came forward, and he was saying that I was molested at that same time.
That's one of the things that I wanted to get into. Can we let's talk about this member of Menudo who said that Roy Rossello of Menudo said that Jose Menendez drugged and raped him when he was 14 years old. Now, do we have any reason to believe that this guy was motivated somehow? It came out in 2023, and Jose was the head of RCA at the time, which in the, music industry, top guy. He could have been a Weinstein easily. So can I ask the panel, do we have any reason to suspect that this guy from Menudo is lying?
100% could have been, Mike. 100% could have been.
Do we have any reason to suspect that he's lying? Because if he's not, and I don't see any reason to suspect that, then that's really incredibly suggestive that Jose was a predator. We also have that came out in 2023 after their cousin died, Andy Cano. They found a letter
which he flew with him across the country.
Written by Eric to his cousin. Part of the letter reads, "I've been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, Andy, but it's worse for me now. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in. I'm afraid. He's crazy. He's warned me 100 times about telling anyone, especially Lyle." This is from 1988, just uncovered after the cousin died. So hypothetically, that could be fabricated. We don't know, but it is another piece of evidence potentially, right?
Yeah.
But will they ever let it go back to trial though? That's the question though. They've tried appealing before. Ron knows. They've tried appealing Ron, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, what is this double jeopardy law? Like you can't retry when you've been tried for murder.
That's the question. Ryan Murphy literally said, he goes, "This is the best thing that's happened to them in 30 years." Ryan Murphy said.
But if there's new evidence that came up, they could retry something that wasn't found. Whatever they could retry something that wasn't.
That's not double jeopardy, Angela. Because it's not double jeopardy because they're retrying the same case.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess like if you're committed with, if you already had
double jeopardy applies like if you were found innocent and they cannot retry you for the same case.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've been drinking. like yes.
It is Friday, everybody. It is Friday.
It's Friday. Sorry. No,
we're getting serious on a fucking Friday.
Let me redact.
Lex makes a good point. You can't just move out sometimes.
But yes, no, that's what I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Is that yes, you're right. They can they can retry. They can do that.
Yeah.
But sorry. That was my mistake.
I get it. It's like I get it. I 100% get it. And that's where like as I was watching like a lot of stuff today and last night after I finished the series, and I was like, and I started feeling for them more and more and more, and but I'm also like, I saw all the lies, and the lies
that
really
last episode, yeah. Well, Brian, like the Venn diagram of dumb and criminal and an abused person, like those cross. You can be an asshole and a halfway sociopath and also have been abused and have a good reason to kill your parents.
Yeah.
All those things can be true.
We all know Lyle hurt that case because he's not a sympathetic.
The glamour shots weren't helping anybody.
He was like smiling through the whole court case, right? He was like smiling and shit. Like,
can we talk about that, Brian? Can we talk about the TV show?
Omnipotent.
Yeah, the TV show. The TV show.
It was funny. Also, the TV show was great, and one of the reasons that it's great is because it shows like just horrific things. Like I had very strong feelings from watching the show. One, watching them kill their parents, ice cold. The cinematography for that,
it's everything. I was like, oh my god,
brutal, right? And like so clinical. Like, oh my god, and it's making me think. It's making me think. Like, I guess that's what goes down in the room. It's incredible. And then the other thing,
they also lied about how it went down, though, Mike. Too, like on the show, that was a misinterpretation because honestly, Jose probably never even saw who shot him.
Right. My point, though, Brian, is that the show has a couple of things. It's got real intense emotional bits like that, and like the episode where Lyle recounts his trauma, harrowing, right? But despite that, it's got some incredibly funny moments. Like
I need fucking dimes. Give me fucking dimes.
The dime thing was great. The dime thing was great.
Or you get your Porsche and your aviators and you go blast cocaine with a bunch of hookers. Like they're having a good time.
$700,000 later.
And who can forget the popsicle incident when he bruises the back of his throat and he just falls. I was just now while you guys were talking, I was watching it on 1.5 speed. It's even funnier in 1.5 speed.
It's fucking.
All I know, that whole montage where they're in jail and he's trying to get fucking dimes and fucking hair gel, and I was like, my god.
Yeah.
So that's what I like, Brian. I like the you got the beautiful cinematography and you've got that juxtaposition of these characters, even if they're abused, even if they're sociopaths, they're still goofballs. Like we want to think of them as idiot Beverly Hills kids, and it just works.
They're human beings. Even when they did with that in the show, the episode 5, where they actually had one scene, one shot for 30 minutes of Eric.
Yeah.
And they just started here, and they slowly pushed in for 30 minutes. That's all I did. And I'm like, a lot of TV shows won't do that. But it was him confessing how he felt about everything, and it was like slowly pushing. And they did 4 times. They shot 4 times, and that was it.
Slow. Okay, I was curious about that.
2 days, 4 shots, 4 takes.
They're going for the Emmy.
Yeah, that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
this show's going to be a real catapult for all of their careers. I mean, Javier Bardem and Chloe Sevigny, like, come on,
fucking awesome. But
I've seen a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are backing the Menendez right now that are ripping this show, saying the acting is fucking terrible.
Wow. I see that too. I see people saying that. I don't get it. I think the acting's fucking great.
Lyle, I think he's a very good bad actor.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Or a very bad good actor.
Or a very bad good actor. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you watch interviews too. I'll tell you what. I watched interviews with them, and you see them both like sitting there talking. He never fucking talks. Who played Lyle? Like he never fucking talks in interviews. But I think it's because Cooper, because Cooper says like he supports it so much that he believes in them. And you see Nicholas, who played fucking Lyle. He was like, I can tell. I think he doesn't believe it. I think he doesn't fucking believe it because he's sitting there, he doesn't say anything. And Cooper's like, I believe them 100%. They're great. They're human beings. And he just, and fucking Alistair's like this.
He's like just playing the safe card. He's like, I don't want to say anything.
He looks like Dexter Morgan, Jordan.
Sucker born every minute. Of course.
Maybe Kim Kardashian will get him off.
Well, they went there.
That's their next order.
Well, the reason why Kim Kardashian went there was to get to try to reform prisons to be more like New Zealand, or was it Norway? Where in Norway they had the reform. It's more like about reform
prisons. If you're going to commit a crime, do it in Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's reforming, and so she wants to change it that way.
I'm aware of the fact of how our prison systems are. I mean, good luck changing them. Like honestly,
good luck.
There's been 1 million people. Just because she's got 8 billion people following her, it's like, I don't think it's going to happen, sweetie. Like,
hey, it doesn't mean she shouldn't try, right?
No, I think she should try. I mean, try all you will, but like, I think that it's also like, try. Definitely try. But
does this show, Angela, does it show like change how people look at the Menendez brothers? Does it change it? Does it make people actually believe that what they're saying is true?
Sure. I mean, look at all of us talking about it now.
Yeah.
I mean, case in point, right? Like, even though I know what Double Jeopardy is, and I
got a different perspective on this. So my mom watched the whole case. I told you this, right?
Yes.
You believe them boys. Watching this show, she goes, I don't know anymore.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It did seem like the jury was split on gender lines.
That's what she was getting out of GR. She had the same reaction GR did. That Lyle was a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah, Lyle was horrible, and it's like
no one disputes that though. Is the thing.
Well, Lyle's fucking testimony was fucking great though. Like, oh God, you know, run applause, fucking Lyle's testimony. It was fucking good.
Honestly, I would have been like not guilty, right? In that first trial, not guilty.
I believed in boys. Watching the show, I don't know anymore.
Thanks, God King. Ron, do you think that this documentary or this docudrama will change and help them find a way to get freed?
I mean, it might go on for a little bit of trying to find new ways and stuff of bringing it.
Is it a moment in the woods, Ron? Just a moment?
Is it what? Is what?
Is it a moment in the woods? I'm quoting Into the Woods, but it's just a moment?
Kind of. Yeah, I feel so. Yeah.
Have you watched the show yet, Ron? If you haven't, you need to watch it.
I'm looking it up right now. It's on Netflix. I didn't know any of this stuff. I've been, I'm going to watch it. I'm watching
I want you to watch it, Ron, because you lived through it too, as we all have. I can't wait to hear. But it's so crazy. Like everyone's talking about it, Ron. It's nuts what's happening right now on the interwebs.
Living here while all that was going on. That was crazy too, because it was just everywhere.
Yeah. Were the earthquakes too at the time too?
What's that?
The earthquakes were happening too. We were going nuts with the earthquakes during the trial.
Rodney King and then OJ. It was all in
OJ, Riot, everything was like back to back to back to back to back, which made sense when they talked about like this state needs something to like, and that's not really the right, I mean, that's not the right mindset to say like, hey, we need to just like make sure things get better. I mean, you don't just like make people charge them with a crime, you know, because you need to get things to be reset in your city.
Oh, God.
I mean, obviously, but people made those comments. I mean, I saw a lot of different reporter comments and different, you know, people were saying stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, but these are also people's lives on the line, you know.
I've never heard those from that people were saying. That's ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah, like it was kind of wild. Like
it was a crazy
case of rich boy. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a wealthy community. Whatever. I wasn't like necessarily. I wasn't wealthy. My family wasn't. But like I grew up around rich kids. Like I knew like. Right. There was, you know, like billionaire families, all this stuff, but like the nasty, gross shit behind closed doors, it was horrible to hear about. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like you hear about these like abuse and just everything, but like they have to shut up so they can get their money, so that they don't get written out of their wills, so they don't, you know, don't.
That's what they know. I mean, that's all they know. That's what their friends know. That's what they're taught. That's what they do. You know?
Yeah. It's like you talk back. You are not in the trust. You are not in the will. You are written out like
fucking done.
Oh shit!
You cannot risk that. You cannot
go along to get along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Along to get along. Exactly. That's pretty much the mentality. Like.
And that was a big thing in the trial too, is about the money and their inherited and everything they're getting, you know, inheriting after the fact. So it's like that was a big part. They were saying that they just want their money now, and so they're fucking trying to kill their parents so they get their money.
You know, if I blasted my abusers on the couch, I might go out and celebrate for a week too. Buy myself some Rolexes. If I just got rid of the devil, I'd be real happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And let me say this: Nathan Lane is in this goddamn show. Are you ever not happy to see Nathan Lane in a project? It thrills me every time he comes on the screen.
I love Nathan Lane.
He's the best. I mean, Mouse Hunt, come on.
And from Variety Fair, he was playing the character from Variety Fair. He was so fucking good. His name was Dominic Dunn. Yeah.
Oh, Dominic Dunn, who wrote the books with OJ. I mean, about OJ with my friend Kim Goldman. So yeah.
And Dominic Dunn had motivated reasoning, though, and they cover that in the series because of what happened to his daughter. So he had a reason to kind of invent the media circus that happened the way it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they portrayed him as talking to, like, nobody.
Yeah, like the dinner table.
Yeah.
Parties at the Chateau Marmont.
I know. I was
people, and they were all, like, not there.
That's true. He's just talking to the waiter at the end of the night, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you want some of this tiramisu?
There's nobody here.
I thought there was like a little thing that was going to happen there with the waiter and him. I'm like, okay.
It seemed like it. Is this Ryan Murphy, like just needless sexualization?
That's Ryan Murphy. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Ryan Murphy. Yeah, that's 100% Ryan Murphy. Round of applause for that.
Ryan Murphy trademark.
Round of applause for that. Yeah. I would say though too, like the brothers grab each other crotches and stuff like that. It was too far. It was too far for me.
That's Ryan Murphy. Absolutely.
That watched this show that the shower scene in jail was needed. No,
it was not needed.
That was a really weird. That was such a weird moment. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking about the sexual confusion of Eric, which is understandable if he was abused from a young age.
Yeah.
Do we have to see the whole like 10 minutes of?
I think we do. We showed the parents, right? We showed the impact on them verbally, like. It's just they want us to see the reality of what's going on, I think.
Yeah. I agree with you, Mike. I think they were trying to get in there, but I think sometimes
it really happened.
Show some dong on TV, man. It's it's even equal rights.
To me, it was like totally. I mean, I worked for Ryan Murphy for years. I know it was totally a Ryan Murphy form where you're gonna go a little bit deeper into that sometimes, and I was like, maybe we went too far. I mean, the brothers in the shower, I think it was too far. I mean, I get you're trying to dramatize it. GR, way too far. You're trying to dramatize
that wasn't like
it.
A hypothetical moment, though. That wasn't like part of the canon.
If the wife actually saw it happening, which I get. You have to show it. You have to go there, you know. And they were trying to.
We're going to lose our whole chat. They're not feeling this at all. I thought I'd bait them with Nathan Lane, but no doubt.
We're going way over. But I would say this too. At the end of the day, this is a story that's been made to be told for a long time, and I think what Ryan Murphy did is bring again, as he said, it's the best PR for them in the past 30 years. And I think what will happen with this, it'll bring more into Gen Z, more into the world, be talking about this. And I honestly think it's not done. We're going to see them back on trial, I think personally, and we're going to see where that goes. And I think they might see the light of day after this. I think
we didn't even talk about their reaction to the TV show, Brian.
They hated it.
They hated it. But did they watch it?
They said they couldn't watch it.
Portrayal.
Right. Ryan Murphy said that they couldn't watch it. He knows they didn't watch it. And he said that he wishes they would watch it because he thinks that the acting will portray them in a light they never thought they would. And so I agree with them. Because I guess Cooper did a great job as Eric, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Massive springboard to all these guys' careers, for sure.
Yeah. They're great. Yeah. I mean, I know people hate on their acting sometimes, but I think what they're doing is actually pretty great. So
they're supposed to be goofy assholes, though.
I know. That's right. I know.
They're supposed to be.
I gotta go with Tim Banks on this. Why were they jerking off in the shower?
Why were you jerking off in the shower, Jordan?
Because Jordan does it.
All right, guys. We don't want to get demonetized because you want to talk about jerking off in the shower.
GR's drunk. He's putting it up there. Anyways, everybody, the Menendez story is out there. It's on Netflix. Check it out. We need to talk about it. It's very controversial. It's insane where they've gone with it. And I'm happy it's out there, though, because I think, honestly, what they do with Monster showcases these people in a lot of ways we have never saw them before. I think Ryan Murphy is doing a great job with this series. I think he is. I think he's doing a great job with this series. Look what they did with Evan Peters, fucking phenomenal. This Edward Gein's coming next. I think it's great. It's a great idea.
Ed Gein's next.
Yep, it's happening.
Ed Gein. I don't know. Ed Gein will get some attention.
It's starring what's his name from Sons of Anarchy?
It's Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam.
Hunnam. Yeah.
It's gonna be Ed Gein.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Cause the pep star needs more snickety snacks. Cause I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.